Hi, cuties. I'm Lanikia, and this is um, what happened on the soaps Young and the Restless edition. All right, I'm not going to hold you long. The soap was good to me today. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it an 8. And we're just going to go right into it. So today is June the 8th, 2022, a Wednesday. Okay, so we see that Mariah and Tessa have came back home and they actually meet up with Sharon and they're giving gifts and everything and it's really sweet. I'm not gonna hold you long on this because it wasn't much. They just update her on their honeymoon and they ask how Sharon is doing and she tells them she's making it. Every day she's just day by day. So then we see Noah and Allie actually meet up. Noah, they run into each other in the park. That park, they're gonna get their money's worth this summer out of that park. They say. So they meet up with each other and they're in the park and everything, and just um, they're just talking. And so she tells him that she has been by Jabot and she went to the lab, and the lab is so incredible. She says Ashley, it's not like a regular chemist lab. Ashley, and he says, yeah, Ashley has really great taste. And she says she could tell because, it doesn't even smell like, a lab or anything because Ashley they've really put their footprint on it, and you can tell that Ashley is very passionate about it, and it inspires Allie because she was wavering on what to do, and so this is helping her make her decision. Now she does feel somewhat guilty because she feels like chemo, he didn't have anything to do with the Abbotts in his later part of his life, and she wonders would he be upset, or she feels guilty about enjoying being around them. She says they're really good people. They've been nothing but kind to her. And she wants to know, like, she would love the opportunity to ask her dad, like, why didn't you mention them? Why didn't you let me have an opportunity to get to know them? And so Noah tells her, my dad and my granddad, Victor and Nick, I see, have had a hard relationship. There have been times when they were completely, not speaking. He said, but one thing that he appreciates that his dad did was allow them to always have a relationship with their grandfather and always have that love there, and not make it about you taking them away. And Allie feels bad about that she didn't get to know them, and he says, well, I don't know, chemo, but I think that if he would be happy about the way the Abbotts have just surrounded you, have they've taken you in, how you're a member of the family, and the Abbotts are good people. And so she thanks him for that. And then he says, I have to go and meet Mariah and Tessa. They've come back to town. Do you want to go? And she said, okay. And so we see Mariah, Tessa, Sharon, and Noah all meet up. And they're thrilled to see Allie because Allie is, she's a good person. And I personally am loving this love relationship with this young love between Allie and Noah because it's not toxic. Like, it's not, there's no other parties involved, there's no lying involved. It's just so fresh. And so I think you need to see that on a soap opera when you have all the drama as well. Just a couple that's drama free getting to know each other. And I'm enjoying seeing this. So, anyways, they meet up at the coffee, at Crimson Light, Sharon's place. And, they tell her, they want to get to know Allie more. And they said, we feel like you're someone we should get to know more of. And I'm like, yes, because she's going to be a part of this family, more or less, is if they continue to go down the storyline that they're going down. All right, so then we're going to move on, y'all, to Victoria, Nick, Adam, Victor, and Nikki. So Victoria is declaring her independence. Now, I get it, Victoria. You want to be able to make decisions for yourself. You don't always want your family to be involved with every decision that has been made. But I don't feel like this is what it is. Victoria, you're only making these decisions because you want to be with Ashlyn. And it makes you feel better to say you guys are controlling me. They are, but not to the extent that you're going. You're controlling me. You don't trust me. I have to get away from you. Girl, just go be with Ashlyn and stop trying to make your family feel bad or make your conscience feel better about wanting to be with him, and just go be with him. Don't blame other people for this. And let me tell you something. That's exactly what Victor told her. They try to talk her out of it. Adam says, "Well, let's listen to her." She says, "What's the point?" Because he's like, "Let Victoria explain." And she's like, "What's the point? What's the point? Y'all are gonna think what you want to think. I'm not gonna explain this anymore." And then so Nick tries to talk to her, and he tells her, "Listen, Victoria, Ashlyn is a con. Like he is conning you, and he's using your kindness, your forgiving nature to get you back into this." And she says, "I feel like you think I owe you something, Nick. I can see the way y'all are looking at me and the way you're talking to me. Y'all think that I should be grateful for getting Ashlyn, paying Ashlyn off and exposing to her what he was to her." And I said, "Well, girl, I mean, I'm not saying that you should grovel, but like a rational, sane person would be like, 'Thank you for telling me.' I mean, cuz the man was lying to you. But let's move right along." Nikki tries to reason with Victoria. She's not hearing it. She's not hearing it from any of them. And so Victor just says, "Listen," because she says, "I'm leaving. I'm leaving the company. I'm going away." And Victor says, "Listen, you do what you have to do, Victoria. Do what you have to do. But don't you blame one person in this room. This is your decision." I said, "Tell her, Victor. Tell her. Victoria, this is all on you. So don't you come back when all this blows up in your face." Now, I don't personally know how it's going to blow up in her face because I think Ashlyn at this point kind of does love her. But who knows about Like, that's the scary part with Ashlyn. You don't know. You think he loves her, but you don't know what he has planned or whatever. Because he's a little too smug about it for me. But that's just my opinion. So Victor just tells her, "Don't come back to us crying." He said, "I gave you the keys to the kingdom. I gave you my legacy. I made you the CEO of a company that most people would love to have. I made you the CEO of it. And look what you've done." And so Victoria is just like, I want my independence and I'm done talking about it. And so she limp on out that room with that cane and she gone. And I said, "Okay, Victoria." And so then we see Victoria goes and she speaks to Ashlyn and she said, "Let's go now." And he says, "What? Wait, wait, wait. What do you want? You want to go now?" He says, "I thought you said let's take it slow." She said, "Why? Come on, let's go. Let's go to New York and start over." He said, "Okay." And he said, "Would I need to fire up the jet?" Because at first he tried to talk her out of it, just moving that suddenly. She was like, "There's no reason to wait. Let's go." And she said, "No, I have to do something first." I said, "Girl, this is not gonna go how you think it's gonna go." So then Victoria, let's pause right there. So then we see Ashlyn gets a knock at the door because Victor, Nikki, and Adam and Nick are still in the office after Victoria leaves. Adam leaves and he says, "If y'all need me, I'm sorry this happened to y'all, but if y'all need me for something," because he makes no bones that he cares about Victoria like that. He's like, "If y'all need me for something, hit me up." So then Victor, Nikki, and Nick talk, and Nick is just like, she brainwashed. She is brainwashed. He said there's no other way to explain this. He could get her to do anything. He could try to get control of the company. He could do anything. And Nikki said, "Please stop talking like this." I said, "Well, he telling the truth, Nikki." And so Nick says, "I got to go. I can't even deal with this anymore." So then Nick leaves. And so that leaves Victor and Nikki. And she's like, "Ah." And he says, "I promise you, darling, he will not win. He's gonna pay for this and everything." And Nikki's just like, "I don't know what to do. It seems like he just anything he says, she's so in love with him. She doesn't even see it. She doesn't see how he's using her. She doesn't see anything." And Victor told Nikki, "I got this." So then Victor leaves, and Ashlyn gets a knock at the door, and it's Victor. And Victor said, "Oh, you think you're gonna win? You gonna leave town and win with everything you want? Think again, son." So that was it with them. So then we go to Nick goes and she's sharing. Allie leaves. Noah leaves. He's going to New Hope to work. Mariah and Tessa go upstairs. Mariah and Tessa go upstairs, and they just happen to be home. I'm not gonna spend more time on them. It was nothing. So then we see that Nick and Sharon talk, and he tells her, Victoria went back to him and she said, I know you lying. But no, Victoria went back to him and she said, but all the stuff that he's done. He was like, I don't know, Sharon. I don't know what's finna happen. She was like, that she can't believe it. And that's it with them. So then we see Adam go to Adam and Sally. That's my favorite. They meet up and Adam's like, listen, I gotta tell you something. She was like, it was very cryptic. What kind of message is that? He said, close the door. I said, please do, because y'all always talking with the door open. So she closes the door and he says, guess what? He said, I don't even think it was our plan. They tried to plan to get Victoria and Ashlyn back together, but they dropped a few hints with Ashlyn and Victoria. But honestly, this didn't have anything to do with y'all playing. This was Victoria tired of fighting that she wanted to be with Ashlyn. So he said, "Yep, she just told the family in the meeting that she wants to be with Ashlyn, and so she's gonna be with them." And Victoria said, "What?" And excuse me, Sally said, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, she just told us." And she said, "So, what's gonna happen with CEO? You think Victor's gonna take it from her?" And he said, "He don't have to take it from her. She quit." And he said, "What?" She said, Sally was like, "What? What do you mean she quit?" He said, "She don't want nothing to do with the family. She don't want nothing to do with Victor. She don't want the bro. She don't want any of us." He said, "I'm not gonna lie, it was bad to see." I was like, "Okay." And she said, "Oh, how did Victor react?" And he was like, "It was glorious." And so Sally was like, "Oh, I wish I could have seen it." So anyway, she said, "So what do you think Victor's gonna do? Is he gonna make us gonna make Nikki CEO? Is he going to be co CEO with Nikki? Like, how does this gonna all gonna play out?" And he said, "I don't know, but I'm gonna have my popcorn." Me too, Adam. That's all I'm talking about. So then we move on to Victoria. So Victoria already know she got to work this thing out with Billy because she got children by Billy. Now, if the spoilers are true, this ain't working out how Victoria does. Because remember, Ashlyn asked Victoria the other day, "What about the kids?" And she says, "I'm sure I can work something out with Billy." Now, Victoria knows she was wrong and she don't really feel that reassurance because she went over to Billy trying to lie, talking about, "I did it. You told me. You've been telling me for years, and I did it. I got under from my father's thumb. I'm independent now." Uh-huh. Billy said, at first he told Victoria, "I don't have time for this." But when she went to talking like that, he said, "Well, let me make a little time. Go on and have a seat." And she said, he told her, "We have children together, so I don't really care about being in your business, but another part of me has to be in your business a little bit because we have children together." And she said, "I understand that, excuse me. And that's why I'm coming to you with this information that I'm leaving. I'm going to New York. I'm going to start over. I'm going to be independent. I left the company and everything." He says, "Now, I'm happy for you if you did this because it's the best thing for you." He said, "But if you did this because of Ashlyn Locke, we got serious problems." I said, "See that girl? Because she over there trying to finesse Billy, acting like it was just her decision to get control of her life, not wanting to tell him that Ashlyn is one of the major keys. She in love with Ashlyn. She wants to be with him. So you're going to have to leave the company because Victor not going to let you have this company where Ashlyn still being part of your life. You're not going to get peace with Ashlyn in Genoa City with Ashlyn still being part of your life. So don't act like you just doing this because you just want to be so independent. Yeah, you might want to be independent, but you want to be independent so that you can be with Ashlyn." And that was The Young and the Restless today, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Even if you don't subscribe, that's okay. Be sure to hit that like button. It helps my YouTube algorithm go so I can get more views. I'll see you next time on on What Happened on the Soaps, Young and the Restless edition.